Hi, my name's Mike Montgomery, and today I'm going to show you how to build a massive outdoor kitchen. We've got a sink, a grill, a spot where a fridge is going to go, fish fridge right here, storage, and seating. Just like this on Modern Builds. This is unlike a lot of my projects because it is very specific to a space. So because of that, I'm not going to be giving the exact dimensions of the one I built. Instead, I'm going to be showing you the process and everything you need to do to be able to build your own.
So this project is going to require a little bit of framing knowledge, but don't worry, it's all really simple. Each of the 3 cabinets are built out of 4 walls, and each of the walls are made up of the same construction. They all have a top plate, a bottom plate, and studs that are holding everything together. And I made sure between each joint that I put a lot of construction adhesive to help hold everything together. And once you have each of your individual walls built, you can start putting them all together. And the beauty of framing is that it doesn't have to be perfect. Everything is going to be covered up with something else, so all of the small problems that you might have if this is your first time framing, you can fix later on.
And the cool thing is, once you know how to build one, you'll be able to build all these too.
Here, I'm just tying these pieces together, and this is where the grill is going to sit. Now that the framing was done, I could start to put my countertops on. Now, these are solid core doors, and I'm going to be using these as the base for my countertops, and I'm just cutting them to width and length. To attach them, I just laid down some construction adhesive, and I just nailed them on with a finish nailer. And to make sure I had the best bond that I could possibly get, I also clamped them to the frame. And as you can see, the spot for my grill is not cut out. I went ahead and did that after I installed the countertops. And it worked out great. Making the cutout for the side burner was not quite as easy. I had to use all plunge cuts with my circular saw. And if you're not comfortable with this kind of saw, you can always do the same thing with a jigsaw, and it'll be a little bit easier and probably a little safer. After that was installed, I needed to make the cutout for the sink, and this time I did use a jigsaw.
Now, I don't want all of this framing to just sit on the porch because when it gets wet, it'll just be standing in water. So I got these pieces of pressure treated plywood, and I'm going to use those as kind of little shims just to raise them up off of the ground about 1/2 inch. And I'll put one in every corner and in the center as well.
You don't necessarily have to use pressure treated plywood, but anything you can do to get the framing off of the ground is really going to add life to this build. I also use this as an opportunity to get everything level before I worked on the countertops.
So these countertops were a relatively long and pretty in-depth process, something that I didn't want to put in this video just for the sake of time. But if you want to check out that video, it is right here. Let's move on.
And I just used simple 1x4 slats for the bottom. That way water could drain if it gets inside there. And next, all I had to do was make my side panels.
So what we chose to use were these cedar fence posts. They're pretty thin, easy to work with, but mainly they're going to stand up really good against weather. And plus we're going to put a clear coat on top of them to make them last even longer. So these should work great.
And I used the same boards as my trim pieces on the corners. I just ripped them to about 3 inches wide. And finally, all I had to do was make and install my doors. And I'm using 1x2 and those cedar planks to do it. And finally, once I had my doors installed, I was finished.
Oh, hi there. Thanks a lot for watching. If you like this video, okay, I can't do this anymore. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Now, this was a huge project and there's a lot to it. And I know there's a few things that people are going to have questions about, some things that maybe I didn't put in that I should have. So I'm going to be doing a follow-up video on my second channel right here in about a week or two. So if you have any questions, anything you want to see about this project, make sure you leave a comment below and I'll be sure to cover that in the follow-up video. If you're new to my channel, I want to say welcome and subscribe because I put out a new project video every week and I definitely want to check those out. Finally, I want to say thanks again for watching and we'll see you next week on modern builds.